I thought we could have a little chat about semantics. Specifically, the semantics of the word ill. What does illness mean to you? To some of you, it'll mean temporary things, like colds or chicken pox or food poisoning. To others, it'll mean end-of-life diseases, like heart failure and cancer, and it'll hold echoes of grief and hospitals and old age. For still others, it'll mean broken limbs, sprained ankles, or childhood ailments, or things that naturally come with the progress of age. These are all valid ways to react to the word illness. But to me, a 24-year-old living in one of the most prosperous countries in the world, it means something very different. To me, illness means a lot of things. Illness means Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, the genetic condition which is the root cause of all my other problems. It means asthma, eczema, allergies, things I've had to deal with since birth, and which can still trip me up if I'm not vigilant about them. It means postural tachycardia syndrome, ME, fibromyalgia, IBS, food intolerances, migraines, digestive problems, recurrent cystitis. Have I said some of those more than once? The list can go on for ages, and it's a list which has made lots of the doctors I've seen over the years scratch their heads and sigh in annoyance, because I'm a problem they can't fix, and people go into medicine wanting to be able to help people. Sometimes there's not a lot they can do to help me. Illness means having to use a powered wheelchair outside of my small ground floor one-bedroom flat and using a crutch or a four-wheeled walker inside it. It means not being able to stand for a shower, having carers who come in to wash my hair and help me clean myself. It means having my PA cook virtually every meal for me, help me organise my flat and keep it clean. It means not even being able to do the most basic tasks for myself, despite supposedly being in the prime of my life. Illness means taking over 30 tablets a day. It means taking meticulous care of my skin, being very strict over taking my inhalers, and monitoring everything that I eat and drink. It means pain, constantly, which is only mildly abated by the numerous analgesics and miscellaneous painkillers that I take throughout every day. It means being unable to leave the house unaccompanied. It means being unable to work, being unable to stay upright for more than maybe 5 minutes at a time. It means being unable to pursue my passions in the way that I should be able to. It means that my bedroom becomes my whole world for days at a time. But look at me. Do I look ill to you? When you look at me, do I fit with the stereotype? Maybe I do, but for most people, this isn't the way that sickness looks. People look at me with flat-out confusion when I get out of my car and into my wheelchair. Many people with chronic illnesses don't look poorly. Every day we deal with pain that most people will, if they're lucky, only have to deal with a couple of times in their lives. We have to live with limitations that most people will never experience. Knowing that my conditions are lifelong and possibly degenerative doesn't sit comfortably alongside the fact that I probably have a good 50 years left to live in this failing body. It's kind of enough to make you want to give up. But that brings me to my next point. I'll tell you what illness doesn't mean to me. It doesn't mean misery. It doesn't mean unhappiness. It doesn't mean despair. I'm pretty unwell by anyone's measure, and yet I'm also pretty optimistic about my life. I'm not going to achieve all the epic goals I set for myself when I was 16, but then again, do many people? We all have to compromise in life, and this is just the compromise I have to make. And it's the compromise that millions of people around the world make every single day. We have no choice but to bend to the will of our disabilities and chronic illnesses. But that's okay. Although I have to spend a lot of time resting and doing nothing at all, I also get to spend small amounts of time doing the things I love. Writing, drawing, painting, singing, seeing my friends, talking to them online or over the phone, crocheting, making things, and telling my dog that he's my best friend. Illness hasn't taken the happiness out of life. I have my good days, I have my bad days, same as anyone else. But sometimes the pain and the loneliness can make a pretty beautiful contrast, which allows the good days to shine out even brighter. Being in a wheelchair and looking young and happy shouldn't be incongruous. Maybe it's time to reshape some of these long-held concepts of illness. It doesn't only exist in nursing homes or hospitals, or for a week while you're in your sick bed. For some of us, illness and disability are lifelong and life-shattering, and even if we don't look it, we are fighting endless battles. But don't confuse these health wars with despair. We've not laid down our weapons yet. See us, talk to us, try to understand us. The invisibly ill are more numerous than you know, and a lot tougher than you could possibly credit. But a lot of the battle is the way society sees us. That can be far more disabling than anything our bodies throw our way. We aren't scroungers because we can't work. We aren't lazy because we spend all day in bed. We aren't faking our diseases if we're smiling, or if some days we're able to do more than on others. Our stories are myriad, our lives are tough, and all we really need is for people to meet us halfway, to try and put themselves in our shoes. I've made this video because too often the chronically ill become as invisible as their illnesses, and misconceptions and prejudices make some people think of us in less than favourable ways, if they think of us at all. Don't mistake illness for sadness, and don't mistake happiness for health. Remember that health, physical or mental, is a pretty fragile thing, and it can get battered at any time to any person. It can strike us at any age and at any point in our lives. If you want to know more, go Google the spoon theory. That's likely to give you far more insight than my ramblings will. As much as it would be nice to have a cure for all these thousands of conditions, probably the best thing we can do right now is to make the world aware of us. So hopefully we can take the invisible out of invisible illness. Thanks.